Welcome, welcome, darlings, to the 5th day of the High Priestess gathering. Ye are still here. You're still here. Give yourselves a good pat on the back for not running away off the island going, get me out of here. Well done. This is just really honor yourselves for staying the course, going there, because that is the difference. That's the difference between you and everybody else, because you are doing it. You're showing up in whatever shape or form, it doesn't matter. You are showing up and you are going to be rewarded. I can guarantee you that, because what I find in this work is that you're doing this work now, but the ripple effects will actually continue for weeks ahead. So today, so up to now, we have kind of, I feel it, we've been preparing ourselves energetically, moving things out of the way that are no longer serve us. And I think at this stage, it's like you're being reminded just how powerful you are. So what you need to know is that you are the creator of your life, and that everything that comes in through you, the vibrational match. Now, sometimes you might turn around and say, that's really fucking annoying, what she's saying to me. But the great thing is that when you know that, you can change it. You get to choose. You are the power. And these universal laws that we all know exist, they are there. And it doesn't matter how nice, how gorgeous, how lovely you are, if you are not in alignment with the universal laws, then you will get the frap of not being in alignment. So this is like turning on electricity. The electricity is there, we can turn that on. But if you're turning that on by sticking your wet fingers in the sockets, you're going to get an electric shock, okay? So it's the same thing with the frequency and the vibration of life and the universal laws of life. And so what we've been doing this week is we've been taking out the programs, the stories, realigning the energy, and having you in a place for you to be able to feel and sense, to go, actually, I do know this, but actually I'm not living by these laws. And you're beginning to see the power of being in the frequency, at this high frequency, and how it affects you. And then also the other important thing is that what I noticed actually this morning, coming back from dropping the kids to the bus stop, I met a neighbor, and her husband works for a farmer. And she was saying to me, she said, oh yeah, she said, for Easter, we're going to have snow and sleet. It's going to be really cold. The farmers have a specific weather, application. And they're saying that there's no way they're going to plant seeds in that kind of a weather. Can everybody hear me? Because Helen is saying she can't hear me.
Yeah, I can.
You can hear me? Okay. So check maybe, Helen, your sound. If you click on the microphone button, the arrow there, just check and see if you need to amend the connection there, or log out and log back in again. And so this is the same as that when you learn to read the energies and you know the power of who you are and the power of these energies that we're going to introduce you today to the High Priestess, then actually you will be able to decide that actually when is the best time. You'll be able to read the energies, you will be able to see the learnings, and you'll be able to act quickly, which will mean you will not stay in the flunk, you will not stay in the story, because you will be able to see, what do I need to learn here, or what's happening here, and you will be able to change your course of action. Okay, without further ado, now I'm going to hand over to the amazing Ber O'Mahony, who I know for, God, Ber, I think it's probably 20 years at least. I remember years and years ago going to Ber's meditations. Ber has helped me so much over the years. She's a gifted woman. She works with tarot, and she's a fantastic woman if you if you are at this stage that you just need a bit of guidance, like what the fudge is happening in my life. And she can come in and be like this gift that's going to fly over your life and give you the direction that is required and get you to see life and circumstance in a different way, and then you can actually start flying. And it just gets you, she just takes you from here and gets you on the right path. And she's got amazing wisdom to share with us, because she knows an awful lot about the sacred wisdom of many of energies, of beings, of the land, because we are on this earth plane, so of the land. So she's an amazing woman, and I'm so honored to have her in Divinely Prosper with us, and to be able to introduce her to you today, who's going to really blow your mind about her knowledge around the High Priestess. So over to you, Ber, my darling.
No pressure. Hi, ladies, and thank you all for showing up. So I'm not sure if you read the email, but I just have a love of Ireland and Egypt. They're my two big places. I've been to plenty of other places. And my big connection with Egypt is the High Priestess Energy, okay? And obviously, because I work with the tarot, this is the High Priestess card in the tarot, and it is symbolic of everything that is High Priestess. And when Marcia said she was running a 5-day or 6-day, whatever it was, Marcia, High Priestess, I kind of thought, wow, that's amazing, because that energy is, to me, it's the powerful feminine energy. I'm not saying the Empress isn't it, or any of the other, the star, there's all different, or goddesses and all that, they're amazing. But the high, when you put the word high in front of something, and it's a priestess, so it's almost like if you go into ancient times, the priest was the highest, like even we'll say in Ireland, if you go to Bridget, who would be what we would know nowadays as one of our main priestesses, Bridget was able to get land from kings, and she just had this way of doing things that if she wanted it, she got it. And she had a lot of magic as well. Now, when I'll be wandering over and back, so hopefully I won't lose you. When I say magic, when you spell magic in the ancient tradition, you put a K at the end, and the K is the key. K stands for the key. And that magic is the key that we all have as women. Okay, it's not trickery and sleight of hands and all this pulling rabbits out of hats and things. That's fine. That's fun magic. We all need a bit of fun. But when we come to the priestess or the magician or the wizard, it's real magic. And if you want to understand the meaning of magic, magic is the process of turning nothing into something and turning something into something else, which really is what we are, I do believe we are all doing here. And apart from being here in this group, I think we've all incarnated in this time now to actually start turning things around. I call us the midwives of the new world. And we are birthing a new world, and it does need the feminine. I'm not saying we don't need the masculine, but it does need the feminine to bring that bit of magic into it. So consider yourselves priestesses. Some people will have accessed their priestess energy, and then as you access it, you move to the higher levels. So a priestess is, to me, she's like a scientist. She works with different rhythms, energies, but as she moves up, now I don't mean levels in a way that one is more smarter than the other, but it's like the wisdom she gathers as she moves up the levels and learns to work with the moon cycles and all that, like stuff that we can't touch, but we know it's there. She literally starts becoming the alchemist. And then when she gets to the height of it, she has all the wisdom and basically what people would call all the secrets. Now, the secrets are only secrets because in days of old, not everyone could cope with the secrets, and it was the priests and the priestesses that had those secrets, but it's open to everyone now. As I say, it's a new world we're birthing, and it's not kept by anyone that wants it. It's all over the internet. Just go and get it. You're here today getting some of it as well. So the High Priestess, to me, like, I'm not saying, I believe every woman is a High Priestess. She has the ability to nurture and bring that out in her. It may not be what you want to be, okay? You might have ideas of being the Empress or, you know, the goddess or something, but because we're on the High Priestess today, I'm just going to, I have to put on my glasses there now while I'm doing this. So if I show you the High Priestess from the Tarot, because symbolically she's amazing, okay? And she's a very easy way for me to explain the gifts and the power that you will have when you start stepping into your High Priestess energy. Now, there's many different...
Let me say one thing, which is, just hold up that card. This is mind-blowing for me, because I'll tell you why. Even though I've done the tarot card workshop with you, I didn't look at the High Priestess card, okay? And when I opened up the High Priestess, I saw two pillars. I don't know if you've heard me say it. Remember, I saw two pillars, and I saw a golden light between those two pillars. And I can see now that that High Priestess has two pillars. So it's like, I mean, it's amazing. So over to, it's just fantastic. So thanks so much for going there with this, because this is something.
I will be getting to the point that she is the third pillar. You know, that when we enter into this wisdom, we are the third pillar. But what I want you to look at her there, so she's got white and blue, okay, that they're her robes. So the white is representing virginity. Now, we don't have to be physical virgins to be High Priestesses, okay? So, but it's the virginity of newness, of something that's untouched. And it's like she can keep bringing that back, that virginity, again and again, with every project, every idea she has that she wants to bring into being. So it's like she is beginning in a virgin state. And that's kind of what you call the youth of the High Priestess. So if you were, you know, if you got an idea, you know, the way you get excited and you want to set up the business, or you want to get married, you want to have children, whatever it is you want, okay? It could be you just want a week's holidays, but that excitement, that newness that bursts in you, that's the virgin aspect of it. And I do believe that that kind of got a bit mixed up as it came down through the centuries and many, many centuries, into that to be a High Priestess, you had to be virgin. You don't have to be. This was the virginity of it. It wasn't necessarily a physical virginity, okay? The second thing I want to bring you to there is her robe, okay? So her robe is blue, and blue represents water. And this is where it really comes into the feminine aspect of her then, because the feminine is water, okay? We're water, we flow, we're receptive, we can move things. And if you look at the way her gown is flowing down here, you see it's like all waves. And for those of you that know the tarot, you can follow that through all of the major arcana, which are the journey through life. And that water will keep turning up the cards. And sometimes it'll be flowing, sometimes it'll be raging, and sometimes it'll be just nice and wavy. But this is the beginning of it. This is the birth of it. So she's like, she's the newness, but she's also the water. And she really, which is you, when I'm saying she, I mean all of you here watching, all of us as females and males, I mean, it's male and female, that wave is all to do with vibration. Now, science is proving nowadays that vibration is really, really important. The ancients knew this. They knew it. Oh, I could be talking about this forever, but they knew it well before we suddenly thought we were geniuses with discovering vibration and resonance and all of that. But it begins there. But she, as I just had to pull it back a bit there because my arm is getting tired. She, as the High Priestess, can flow that. She knows where she's sending it to, but yet she's not afraid of where it goes, because she's like the spring that it came from. So that's the kind of the whole, I suppose, the movement, the flow. And if we look at water, then water in chemistry, and that is known as the universal mind. So it's something we can't touch. the universe, like the planets go around perfectly, everything moves in rhythm if we don't interfere with them. That's another story. But that's the universal mind. We can call it God, whatever we want to call it, but that's what water represents. And her head geared in, okay, if you look at it now, any of you that have been to Egypt or studied Egyptian or goddesses or high priestesses, this is the crown of Isis. Okay. So one of them, she has 3 or 4 of them, but this is the one that's most commonly used. And she has in the center is representing a full moon, and out to the sides are 2 crescent moons. So it's like all the stages of the moon as it moves, and she carries that on her head. So that's like that universal mind, that mind of movement, rhythm, all that going on there in her head. So don't underestimate when you're in your quiet space and you get these insights, or you're sitting out in the moon, or maybe the moon is affecting you, but do keep an eye on how the different cycles of the moon affect you. I mean, I know myself, I planted over 2,000 seeds just 2 weeks ago because I wanted to plant them in the new moon, well, the dark moon, and they're flying up, honestly. But that they're moving with the rhythm of the moon now, as well as the sun and the heat. So that's the real connection to the moon there. So I always feel women that have that priestess energy will be very drawn to the moon energy and kind of just maybe see it when other people don't see it. If you go to the cross in the center there, then that's a 4-armed cross, an equilateral cross. Now, this I love because this brings us back to Bridget. And if you that are from Ireland, you'll be well aware of the St. Bridget's cross, okay? So Bridget's emblem is the cross. And here we have it sitting on Isis. And if you go to Egypt, you'll see that cross as well out there from thousands of years ago. So it's like all these high priestesses, or we can call her goddess Bridget, but I personally believe she's the high priestess. They all knew that north, south, east, and west in equal balance was really important. And really in Irish mythology, there's always a 5th element, and that's the center. Like in Ireland, the place is called Ishnock. If any of you have ever been there, it's one of the most feminine places I've ever been. So that's like the belly button of Ireland. And that is, back in olden days, you had the 4 provinces, but we had the 5th. You'll often hear in Celtic mythology, they'll talk of the 5th, and the 5th is where the 4 elements meet. Okay. No, I keep moving on with you. Also down here, you can see there's more moon. There's a crescent moon there at her feet. And then in her hands, she's got the Torah, T-O-R-A. And that back, no, I'm talking about ancient Kabbalism. So going way back in Jewish religion, but back to the old Jewish religion, the Old Testament, really. That is the scroll of wisdom and knowledge. And this then is where the older priestess comes into it. So I consider myself kind of at that stage, where you've had years. Some of you look like you're at the beginning of it. Some of you look like you're probably joining me at the other latter end of it. But you've had years of experience and knowledge as a woman. But you have it, like, don't ever underestimate. You have it there. You have it sitting on your lap. Now, where it's sitting with her, it's literally sitting on her womb area. And Marcia, you've said it so many times that the womb really is the place. Now, we know as women it's the place of creation, but we don't have to be creating babies to be using our womb. She has all her knowledge and wisdom sitting there. Marcia, you've done a few things. I'm not sure whether on this, but definitely in Divinely Prosper, about how our financial stuff is sitting in our womb and how important it is. And the other lady that does all the cervical stuff and the clearing out of the cervix and all that, because it's such an important area. But it's our wisdom. That's a part of the body where we have our wisdom. And she has it right there as well. Then we come to the 2 pillars. Okay, so they are the pillars from Solomon's temple. So that's more wisdom again. Joachim and Bo, I can't think of the second name. Bo something is the second pillar. But she pulls down the energy. You have a dark pillar, a light pillar, but she's centered. She's not pulling towards the dark or pulling towards the light. she's balanced, and she's centered. Okay. And on top of that, then you have 2 lotus flowers. Now, in Egypt, lotus flowers were so, so important. I have some, I wish I could give it to you. I really wish. I have some lotus oil that I've brought back from Egypt. I'd love you just to imagine. It smells like flower now. If you could just imagine, oh, I'm going to rub it on my wrist, that you're rubbing it on your wrists, and just smell it and breathe in the magic with the K of the High Priestess. And if any of you are in the East Cork area, I'm very happy to give you a little bit of this if you'd like it. But it's wonderful. And there's so many stories about the lotus flower. Now, in some of there was a thing called the blue lotus, okay, which again would bring us back to this more feminine, receptive, that water energy. The blue lotus used to grow in certain parts of the Nile, but it was an hallucinogenic. Like you hear people talking about ayahuasca nowadays. The blue lotus was highly hallucinogenic, and the priests and priestesses and the pharaohs used to ingest it or inhale it. I'm not sure, but they went tripping, for want of a better word, on this. And they say that this is where they got a lot of their knowledge from. The same as the shamans in Mexico and Peru can walk into a jungle of millions of plants, and they know which one is poisonous and they know which one isn't. It's like you couldn't learn it in a lifetime. You couldn't. But it is from these journeys that they took and their ancestors took. And you will often find, I wish I could share my screen with you now. There probably is a way of doing that now, but I don't know.
If you want to try it, you can if you want. I can, because I made you a co-host, yeah?
What I'll do is I will...
you can share, you just click on the share.
Yeah, but will that show some Egyptian stuff, some pictures?
Yeah, so that should, so you give it a go there, because I think I made you co-host, did I?
No, rename.
Hold on a minute.
What I'll do, rather than keeping people all day, I will put the photos up and explain.
Yeah, do.
But on a lot of the temple carvings in Egypt, there's lotus flowers, but they're not in the vase, they're out of the vase, which symbolically would be saying they weren't using them just for flowers, because why would they be taking them out of the vase, if you know what I mean? So it's like this lotus was so important to them. So that's again at the top of the pillars there. So representing this whole ancient wisdom and knowledge. And like the temples were I won't say were, they are such sacred places. When you walk into a temple, or even in Ireland, when I walk into Ishnok, and it's land, there's no temple in Ishnok. There's, circles of land and there's mounds and things, but there's no actual temple. But the minute you put your foot on it, you feel it. They're alive. When you walk into a temple in Egypt, you can almost hear them singing. And is Dagmar there? I must tell you something, Dagmar, before I go from your hot seat the other night. I'll explain something to you before I go. So it's like all that is there. And then behind her, you have this veil. And I don't know if you can see there, but behind that veil is a sea. And that veil is based on the tree of life. If you look up the Jewish Kabbalah tree of life, that's exactly what she has behind her. So she knows the wisdom, but you must pull back the veil. And that's always the scary bit for all of us, is pulling back the veil and letting that universal feminine mind actually come out to us. Okay, so that's the tarot card now. So you can see how, if I'm doing a tarot reading, it takes me an hour, and I could be an hour talking about one card, but that's the symbology of it. Then we have, if I get back to Isis herself, who would be, I suppose, the most universal high priestess we know. So Isis totally embodied her femininity. Isis then brought in her counterpart, Osiris, okay? And Osiris then, it's a long story, but we'll say Osiris was cut into pieces by his evil brother. There's always the light and the dark set, okay? And his parts were scattered all over Egypt. And Isis, in her wisdom, decided she needed to pull things back together again and recreate the masculine. You could say the love of her life. I can make it very romantic, but for this group of women, I think it is We're all doing that. We're recreating the inner masculine. I really believe this now. So we have to go and find the pieces of ourselves. You know, someone said there they had an amazing healing yesterday. Someone else said they don't know whether they're letting stuff go or just going through patterns. But that's what you're doing. You're finding pieces of yourself and you're remembering. So you're taking the different members and you're remembering together. So she remembered Osiris. She put him into, brought all the body parts back except for one. Okay, the one that she needed to co-create a child with. So this was a big problem, and it's a bit funny actually, because to this day in Egypt, they believe a fish eat that. So they never eat this fish in Egypt. So I don't know whether they expect Osiris's private bits to fly out or something, but they will not eat that fish in Egypt. So, but anyway, she brought them all. It's actually beautiful when you see it, especially carved out in the temples. And she laid them on a plinth, and she decided through vibration that she would impregnate herself. So she laid over him and she started vibrating. And then that's why we always see her with wings, because we know wings are a big universal symbol of vibration. So she then produced the golden child, the amazing child. She produced Horus, who is very similar to the Jesus story. The way Mary, again, Mary, I would consider an extremely high priestess. She came from the Essene tradition. She was well versed in all sorts of things. And it was the angel Gabriel, wings again, who came to her and allowed her to be impregnated without the use of, we'll say, sexual activity. Okay. So it's all this vibration, really. But she, to me, Isis is like us now, and she went looking for to bring the masculine back, but bring it back differently, and then to use vibration to mix that within herself. And Osiris is a star. Like I, you know, that's another whole. If you ever want to talk on Egypt, I'll give you all that. But my big point here is the vibrational essence of the high priestess. That we need to be vibrating. We need to get into our soul. We need to get into our hearts, and we need to vibrate to what we want to make in the world now. We need the masculine with us because we all know we need desires and we need to get up there and do something at some stage. But it's the whole vibration thing that goes with it. So, and then you have Bridget. I'll get back to Bridget again. And Bridget, again, the color white is really important in the traditions we hear about Bridget, because she knew where to set up her, I'm going to call them mystery schools. Nowadays they call them churches, but Bridget was there long before the Catholic Church ever came into Ireland. She was known as Brídóg. She was a pagan goddess, high priestess, whatever you want to call it. But she knew where to stop and bring her women to when she'd see white deer. So that white was there, and there was always a well or a lake near where Bridget was. So that was the flowing of the water as well. So I hope all that makes sense to you. I suppose what I'm really trying to say to you is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the vibration. Don't be afraid to step up and own that power that you have. Don't be afraid to go out and sit under the moon and let the energy of it come down onto you. A priestess, a high priestess, is in charge. She's the one that runs the show, kind of. So she's, through her wisdom and knowledge, she's come to really center herself like that third pillar and know this is the dark, this is the light, this is the negative, this is the positive. None of them are pulling me anywhere. I'm staying centered. But she's the boss as well. That's the other thing. And sometimes if you're in your high priestess shadow, okay, and I'm not saying any VR now, but maybe just have a think about it, and you're not really embracing it, you could have a lot of issues with women in power. Now, I'm not talking about women that are doing terrible things in power. I'm just saying women in power. So if you have, I can't speak for other nations, but here in Ireland, there's often the thing of, look at her, who does she think she is? You know, she's getting a bit too big for her boots now, you know, that kind of a thing. That's the shadow aspect of the high priestess, because we need to acknowledge the women that have stepped up. So see how you react around female bosses. Now, obviously, if they're doing anything that's unjust or anything, off you go and deal with it. But don't just say, that's a woman in a man's job, she can't deal with it. See what it's reflecting in you, or what shadow that's bringing up in you. Like Marcia would be the high priestess of divinely prosper. There's no two ways about that, and as she says herself, she does kick ass every now and then, but that's just through experience, and that's it. So don't be
But then
afraid.
the other thing too I see is that even though that I've been asked to create, we'll say, divinely prosper, and I'm managing divinely prosper and the energy that's coming in. What I feel as well is that anybody else in divinely prosper, it's like I'm not saying that I'm the high priestess and we're all collaborating together, because everybody in divinely prosper, in my view, is a high priestess and is being called to lead the way, and to stop following, and to stop going into the lack and getting out of your own way. And so, and like today, like I know that Burr is the expert in bringing this message, and so it's really a wonderful way, I feel, of being, and knowing that every woman has a gift and can contribute to the higher plan. And so this is why, like, just your vibration of like bringing us all into that energy in a very natural, grounded way, that's you're the high priestess in that, in my view, if you don't mind me telling you. Anyway,
I would say too, within the temples, or within any mystery school, any female mystery school or male mystery school, or even if you go off out on a retreat now, everyone has their place. If you walk into a temple, there's a perfumery. The women that were in there, that was their gift. They worked with, plants and smells, and that was their gift. No one, actually, it came to me a couple of days ago there when I was meditating. I had a very happy childhood. And I went to a convent school, and I had amazing nuns teaching me. I, thank God, never met any of these ones that people have horrific stories about. But my thing, like, I used to love going up to the convent. Some of the nuns would be doing the kitchen, some of the nuns would be doing the flower arranging. Now, sorry for any of you that had bad experiences. I just didn't have that. And I thought, as a child, well, an 11, 12-year-old, it was the most amazing place anyone could ever be. And then when I eventually got into temples, I realized, hey, they're all running kind of the same way, Or if a group of us were here doing a retreat, someone would take care of the food. So each priestess has her role, and each is the high priestess of her particular area. But I think when there's a group, it's like someone needs to say, we're starting the class at 11. And that's kind of, to me, then in that group, that will be the high priestess. But it doesn't mean that you're not the high priestess of the kitchen or the perfumery or even the washing. Like, it's amazing. Like, I have a friend that loves cleaning. Now, to me, oh my, no way. Like, I love a clean house, but I don't want to be the one cleaning it. And she her, Marcy, she loves cleaning. Like, she's the high priestess of keeping the place tidy, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, so that's it. The other thing I would like to say is, in the tarot card there, which I just wanted to say, she sits on a cube. She's not in a chair, she's on a cube. And the cube is representative of the soul. Okay. And the way I feel, and I think everyone else probably would agree with me, when you see her sitting there in the midst of everything with all the water around her, the way to access her is through silence and meditation. I have found anyhow. Now, unless you can get to Egypt with me, hopefully I'll be back again in 2022 or up to Ishnak or somewhere, and we'll access her through the land and through the art and through all that stuff that's there. And her ancient esoteric name was the priestess of the silver star. which is the moon. That's the old name for the moon, the silver star. So I think that's about it, unless anyone has a question. And yeah.
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Has anybody any questions here for Burr? Just put maybe a comment in there, or feel free to unmute.
Could I just give Dagmar her message there, Marcia?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Dagmar, you came up with joy the other night as being, and you said something about star people. Well, one of my actual favorite place in Egypt is a temple called Dendara, and it is full of what we call hathors. They have all musical instruments. They're really good for women giving birth to things and that. They'd be very connected in with Isis, but they are the 7 Pleiadian sisters. You often see the goddesses come in Greece and other places. You'll see 7 goddesses in a row. You'll see 7 of them. So I believe it's the Pleiades is your star family. Okay, I'm not saying I'm
amazing.
but their whole thing is dance and joy and creating and music and really having joy. That's what they're in the temples for, joy. But they are the 7 sisters of the Pleiades, which you can, if you're not living in a city, you should be able to see that in the sky. So yeah, I just
Dagmar, that because Dagmar and I had a session today. So Dagmar, that stands what I said today about you about your orange. So Dagmar's come back to has orange available. So, and I was saying like the art, it's the that's her thing. It's learning that. So it's so amazing. And the Palladians, I mean, that's fantastic. So I did definitely explore that. So thanks so much. So that's great, Dagmar. What a great day you've had today.
I mean, I was just like totally rocking today. Like Friday is amazing.
Amazing, absolutely amazing, fantastic. So Barry, can you see the chats there? So brilliant. Thank you for your wisdom.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I would love to get my High Priestess name. I love the star; it resonates. That'll come, Joan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, and love all these stories threading together. Amazing. Thank you, Burr, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much, Burr, because that has been Agnes. Do you want to put up your hand there? Do you want to unmute?
Yes, thank you very much, Marcia, and thank you, Bert, for this. This was just brilliant, mind-blowing. And the question I would have is, do you have any daily practice you would recommend so that we can integrate the High Priestess and all what you explained to us?
I would definitely say Out Under the Moon is in peace and quiet is amazing to access the High Priestess energy, really and truly. Meditation, and if you can, I don't know if you have a deck of tarot cards. Well, the older tarot cards are the better ones. And if you can kind of visualize yourself walking into a temple. So will I do a 3 or 4 minute quick meditation there, Marcia? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you just close your eyes, now this will be quick, okay? So just close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And just let go of the day and the out breath. Just let everything go. Let everything go. And just feel something magical about you, as if something really, really good is about to happen. Something amazing. And I want you to look now with your closed eyes, really look a little bit out in front of you and start to see a white temple appearing with pillars just like we saw there now in the card. Tall pillars with lotus tops on them, okay? And this is shimmering white. And I want you to just walk towards that temple. And there's a few steps to go up. We're going to say 3 steps, okay? So you're putting your foot on 1 step, the next step nice and slowly, and then the 3rd step. Now, as you step in through the first 2 pillars of the temple, you know there's something really special here. And what I want you to feel in your heart is a feeling of coming home. Home to a place where you're truly welcome. Home to a place where you're truly embraced. Your real home, your home. where your heart lives. And I want you to start walking through this temple now, okay? And just take your time, one foot in front of the other, and see if you can pick up any kind of vibration in this temple. Now, it's home, remember, it's safe, it's home, and you are so, so welcome here. You feel it coming out of the walls. And now, just as a kind of a shimmer in front of you, you can see some blue. And you're going to walk towards that blue color. And the closer you get, you actually realize it's Isis, the mother of all priestesses. And she has that moon energy shining from her head. And she has the beautiful flowing blue and white robes. And she has the most amazing smile you've ever seen. Now, if you can't see it, just feel it, feel it. And she puts her two arms out to you and she says, welcome home, my daughter. And she tells you now that she is so happy that you've come back to the temple. And she understands it's been a long journey for you. Sometimes it might have been a frustrating journey, but none of that matters now. You're home. And she has a gift that will help you to hold on to this energy of the temple, the place of the priestess being your home. So from her left hand, she hands you an object, a color, it could be a word, anything. And if you don't get anything, don't worry. And she takes your right hand and she places her left hand over it, and you accept it. And then she puts her two hands on your shoulders. And again, she says, welcome home, my daughter. I know you have to go back out into the world, okay? So you can hug each other, whatever you want to do. But she is really, really telling you that her energy is staying with you. And if you can get this sense of home and beautiful mothering, you're in contact with her. So you walk back out of the temple, you come down the 3 steps, the first step, the second step, the third step. You feel different. You feel your heart is singing, your body is vibrating at a lovely, lovely energy. And you feel you belong. You've been home. You've been truly home. Now, if you want to, before you come back into the room, you can check what was your gift. If you don't know what your gift is, I can guarantee you something will show up in the next couple of days and you'll go, oh, that's exactly what I got, okay? So when you're ready, then bring yourself back into the room and open your eyes. Put your 2 feet on the ground just to ground you back into this earthly energy that we're in. And that would be helpful for accessing the High Priestess energy. You can do it with Bridget, you can do it with any of the priestesses or any of the goddesses that you would have up there. The thing is, you'd be a daughter of Isis or a daughter of Sekhmet or a daughter of Bridget. It's like you belong to the family, but we're here and we're doing it now in our way through planet Earth. But it's good to have the backup. So I hope that helps.
That was beautiful, Ber. Catherine just messaged there saying, can tarot cards be dangerous?
Well, like everything else, a dog can be dangerous if it has a bad owner. So, you know, it depends who's reading it and who's... I have never found them to be dangerous. And I'm in my 60s now. And when I started using these, I mean, there was nearly people throwing holy water on me in Ireland. But, you know, my father was very open-minded. I was very, very lucky. I had a very open-minded father. And my mother kind of just went along with that stuff, as she'd call it. But no, I think it's the person that's doing the reading. Like, as I say, you can have a dog that would be dangerous, but if you have a good owner, you're going to have a good dog. So it's like, they're so beautiful. Like, there's the star card there. Like, how could you find danger in that? You know, and there's life. I mean, I know the devil card is in there, but it's not the devil as we would have been taught in a religious way. It's the ego. It's pure ego. And I just feel like everything else, people could say what we're doing here is dangerous. It's not, if you're coming from the right place. And I do think you need a little bit of understanding of symbolism in you to work with the tarot. Does that make sense? I don't know who said it, no, but I wouldn't feel they're dangerous at all. I feel, as I say, I just don't need there for me to read. Someone got the word love, isn't that lovely? Emerald, very good, because I'm starting a new online sort of a course, I suppose you might call it, and it's called Daughters of the Emerald Moon. So who got emerald? Sarah McFrederick, is it? Very nice.
Sarah, yeah, she's in DP.
Yeah, cool.
Wonderful. There's great messages here. That meditation was so powerful. Thank you, Bar. Marcia, much gratitude to you both and all the other priestesses.
Oh, moonstone, whoever got that, Rebecca. Yeah, I have it on me there. That's a real crystal to do with the High Priestess, the moon, obviously the moonstone. And the lapis lazuli is another one that's a very strong, because it's got the blue, but it's got the gold in it as well. So yeah.
Quite a few people got scrolls. Golden.
And lots of people got stones as well, different precious stones.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So I feel like, just following on from what Bear is saying, is that, you know what, the key here is unconditional love. Anything that you're doing that comes from love will never harm you. Okay? So it's like our invitation now, I really feel very, very strongly that up to the 31st of March 2021, it is like that there is an ending of the world as we know it, and there is a new blueprint being created on the 1st of April. And I didn't know fully when I got the name Gathering. Like, I got initially, like, it came Gathering, and it was only a few days after that it was that I was told that it's the High Priestess Gathering. And I really feel that the work we've been doing this week is preparation for every one of you to be prepared for something amazing. And that something amazing is you. Every one of you have a beautiful, wonderful mission on this planet to co-create a world that is worth living. Now, outside, you've got to think, okay, none of us are in government positions. None of us are in positions in, we'll say, the 3D world whereby we can make changes. However, what I know to be true is that the way that we can make changes is with starting with ourselves. It's our vibration. It's about believing ourselves enough, feeling worthy, taking action from a place of alignment, having courage, just like Goddess Isis. Goddess Isis loved deeply, but she was not a walkover, right? She was a warrior. And it's the balance of having this power of determination, of doing what it takes, and of getting out of our own way and letting go of our stories and saying, I am not my story, because I am love. My natural state of being is to thrive. And so this is a great time for women, because what we're doing inside in us is that we are healing the masculine and we are healing the feminine within us. We are digging deep into our power of what it means to be a woman and the asset of being a woman. Because you will have heard before, I mean, even we hear that, oh, any guy that is successful, it's like there's a good woman behind him. But now it's the chance for the woman, it's not even it's the vision that it's the woman is going to stand and say, I'm going to own, I'm not going to hide behind the man's success. I am going to stand either beside the man or in front of the man, depending on what resonates with you. And I am going to own my power as a woman, my intuition, my love, the cycles, knowing the times of rest, the times of taking action, and the being surrounded by women who love you for who you are on a soul level, love you for the light being that you are. And this can't be done singularly. This is us coming together and linking together and having a safe place to land and to be witnessed and to be encouraged and to be understood, and also a sense of maturity to say, you know, I take responsibility for how I feel, for any triggers that kind of might come up. It's just like all they are opportunities to kind of explore, you know, where is that trigger in me? What has that got to, what's the gift? Because there's a gift in everything. So what will be happening as well after probably tomorrow, around tomorrow, is there will be a possibility for anybody to come and join us on Divinely Prosper. Divinely Prosper is like an island whereby you're getting on a plane, you're saying goodbye to all aspects of lack, insecurities. You are going to be, you're ready to receive, to let in all of the desires that you have, to let them in and to do the inner work in order to be in alignment, like Burr was saying there about the two pillars, that you're in the in-between point. So it doesn't matter. You're in the eye of the storm, you're in the middle point. So you are, it doesn't matter about whether it's stormy or anything out there, because you are in your center and you're not being taken out. So what I found is that for women who are leaders, who are ready, who are feeling this urge that there is more to them, that they have this amazing gift, but they haven't quite been able to master their own power, their businesses, to be able to make money, because there is the law of compensation and you are ready for great things. And so if that resonates with you, there will be a possibility to join us on this island for a season of either 3 months, or if you want to move on, get your, move out of the 3D world and come and live on the island with us for a year, that's a possibility too. And if you don't, then that is okay too, because you need to be ready for the vibration, for how we're working, and you will not be told what. I think the worst thing for people when they first of all land on the island is like, what do I do? Tell me. I'm like, I'm going to tell you nothing. I'm telling you, we're not going to tell you what to do at all, because you know what to do. So this is a space really where we are really, I mean, we're living the dream world. Like, we really are supporting each other, loving each other. We've an interest in each other's lives. We've an interest in each other's businesses. We're buying from each other. I'm encouraging people. I'm like, if you want something, come in here, see if it's in here, because you'll have a very high frequency of a woman that you'll work with. And if you don't, then by all means, go out and find someone else. But we are really doing this to create the template, because all we need is 1%. We only need 1% of the population to be at this frequency that ye have been in. Now, the thing is to stay in this frequency and keep rising. But all we need is the 1%. And so what I see is that I've been given this task by Goddess Isis to create this space so that you can land, nourish yourself, be reassured, get your ass kicked at times, like I was saying the other day. My ass kicking bears great dividends, right? To have the courage, because girls, it takes courage. It takes courage, this work, right? It takes courage. And it's like, you are not here to please. You are here to lead. And so we will support the woman that it's part of her calling to join us in Divinely Prosper and to give it a go, to take a chance on you, right? To say, you know what, I am done. I'm done with the old ways of doing things. That's also the other thing is that even in if you're an entrepreneur and you have found that the way of doing business hasn't worked for you, it's because it doesn't work in the new Aquarian age. We are really turning it all on its head, and we are following our intuition. We are trusting, even though it may not make any logical sense. We are creating miracles because we are in that vibrational state. We're not coming from a place of need. We're coming from a place of enhancement. And this has been the game changer. Okay. So I'll just see there. Has anybody got anything to say? So just allow I think the reason that I'm not giving any link today is I just feel this was a powerful week. And to be perfectly honest, this isn't about you joining Divinely Prosper or not. This is about you taking in all the information and knowing you have got this, right? This is about you then seeing and feeling in, are you really ready to be surrounded by such extraordinary women who are doing extraordinary things, and that you are ready to also do extraordinary things, and to have a place, a safe place, because it feels actually that the Women Divinely Prosper we are like a soul family. It feels like, you know, all the work that I've been doing up to now is just like, this is what I've been prepared for. And words cannot describe what it's like. You have to experience it. And if you're not feeling it, then it might mean that you would need to do a little bit of work, because this is not for the woman who's just starting out and who's dipped their toe into kind of personal development. This is for the woman who's done enough inner work in herself and is ready for the mastery and the abundance and the power, and to live like you've experienced here, but to live that full time. And that is what this is the space that we're creating. So it's like, if you want apples, then you need to plant the seeds for an apple, right? So if you want radishes, then you need to plant the seeds of a radish. So it's like, you need to see what seeds do you want to be planting. And if the soil that we have in Divinely Prosper is the place that you want to plant those seeds, then we will be there with open arms to welcome you, and to just have, it's very similar, kind of, you got a bit of a taster, because we do have, like Bear has been like coming today to share, we have a member spotlight, and we have someone in the Divinely Prosper who shares her wisdom and gives us healing to prepare, because we're constantly rising, all of us, and everybody in Divinely Prosper has a purpose, and their skills are part of that. So I get guidance to bring whoever it is in. And then we have a hot seat on the full moon. And then we have on the new moon, it's kind of a round table saying a Q&A. If you have a question, you bring it to the table. So the whole idea is that you don't have any more kind of ups and downs, because you're dealing with the energies as they come in. But for the first 3 months, there may be turbulences, because your shadow is going to start coming up. And so you need to be willing to look inside, and we will hold you in the highest love. And when you let go, then you're going to literally fly. So, so how to join? There, I have no sales page yet, but that will be a registration page. That will be, should be ready this evening or tomorrow, and I will. You'll get an email, and I'll also put it in the Facebook group. So that is it, my darlings. Have you anything else to say there, Ber?
No, I would just say, you know, if you're called to join the group, join it, but definitely keep working on your High Priestess energy.
Yeah.
I was just looking at some of the comments there, and I do know when I joined, I was one of the kind of the first cohort into Divinely Prosper, and it took me 3 months. It really did, because I have been in business. Now, you don't have to have a business. There's a couple of questions there about, do you have to have a business? Definitely you don't. This really is it's like developing yourself, but I'm sure something amazing will come out of it anyhow. But I had, I suppose, 3 or 4 different businesses with women, and over the last 25, possibly 30 years, I suppose, really. And none of them had ended up the way my vision for them was going. And I had kind of decided, that's it, I'm on my own, you know, I'm doing my own thing. And then I got into another group at Marcy and met 3 of some of them are here, 4 or 5 other amazing women. And then Divinely Prosper came up, and I went into it, but I didn't go into it, if that makes sense, because it did bring up my shadow. It brought up, oh, I'm going to tell all these people what I'm doing now, and blah, blah, blah. And suddenly, just from a few interactions, the support, like, that's the thing I love about it. Every woman in it wants the other woman to succeed.
That's right.
There's no bitches in it. Sorry, no, for
Yeah,
the language.
there isn't.
That's the way it is. Like, and I'm like, wow. And I'm really in a transition at the moment, because most of my work is very physical. Like, I take people to sites, people come to my space here and they do meditations, we walk labyrinths. Suddenly it's gone. And the only thing that I've been able to continue with is the tarot, because I can do that online, you know. And some people won't even do it online. Just let me know about when you're back and I can go down and visit you, you know. And I really think that only for Divinely Prosper, I would never have had the courage, and I'm pretty courageous now, but to say, that's it, Ber. We don't know how long this lovely COVID is going to last. We don't know how long we'll have restrictions. The universe is crying out for you to start doing something differently. And then it just started unfolding, you know, and just seeing those messages there, the talking about the High Priestess through a group of people, through a screen, they get it. So yeah. I think it's just a new way of being. It's all new. So the island has really helped me to embrace it's still the same stuff I'm doing. I'm just using a different vessel to put it out there. But I can't wait to get the bus full again and be going, you know, so but that will happen too. So
yeah, it will, you know, definitely.
But it's a very encouraging place to be, that's what I would say.
It is, and that's why I really want to make sure that, you know, that it's right for the woman. Because if it's right for the woman, it'll be right for us. So there is a part of me that I'm very, because I need to make sure that you are ready for this. Now, the other thing about ready is like, are you ever ready, right? But your soul will know whether you are meant to be part of this. And if it might be now, or it may be in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, but you will know. And if there's any, if you need kind of any clarification, just put a message or drop me a message on Messenger, and we can have a tune in and see if this is your next level. And if it's not, then that's okay, because there'll be other, maybe it might just mean, for example, that some of you haven't heard about, you know, having a soul, you know, blueprint. Maybe you just need to do the soul blueprint and kind of get to know, you know, who you are in a soul, because there has been so many programs about, you know, you are this role, but you're not. You know, you're not any of the roles. You're not a mother. You're not you are a soul that happens to have different roles, but they don't define you. So, or it might mean that you might need to go on and do something else. And even in the group, there's great skills and great wisdom. So there will be somebody, I feel whatever reason that you're in the High Priestess gathering, there is a reason. And it just happens that after this, if you want to continue and you've loved this space and you think, oh my God, I really want to have this every day in my life. And it won't take up too much time. It's not a program. It is not a course. It is a journey, right? That's what it is. And you will know, I really know, you will know if it's calling you. And if you're having a bit of fear, that's also natural, okay? You just need to tune in and see, is this for me? And if it is, just sign up basically and give yourself the minimum of the 3 months, or commit and say, you know what, I'm going to do this for me and I'm going to come for the year on the island. And that we have Divinely Prosper guides. They're going to be there to support you as you join, because we all know this, like, okay. And so you will be taken care of, and then you'll be able to take care of yourself, okay?
Marcy, can I just say one thing? If anyone has any questions on anything I spoke about today, Facebook is probably the best place to get me, even though I'm encouraging myself to be more on Instagram. It's go on to my private page. It's Bear Folio Manny.
Great.
And
do you have a business page, Bear, as well? No?
Yeah, Guiding Hand Tours.
Right.
Guiding Hand Tours.
Guiding Hand Tours.
Sorry, that's to do with the Mayan calendar, but Guiding Hand Tours.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Bear, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
All right, have a wonderful weekend. We'll be in touch, and I'm going to keep the energy open for the next 7 days, okay? Mwah. Take care. Thanks, Bear.
Thanks, Marcia, and everyone else.
Love you. Bye.